Hello, ladies. I'm so excited for this evening. I hope you are too. For those of you who are new to my community, just want to let you know who I am and what the heck that I do. So, my name is Jill Howell, and you can call me a lot of things because I actually am so integrative. But in the simplest nutshell, like I'm a mind body coach, I'm a nervous system coach. I help women who are struggling with anxiety and depression come back home to themselves and to their body so that they can live with more peace, with more ease, and with more joy. And I'll share a little bit of my story in a little bit, but in a nutshell, that's what I do. So I am all about creating spaces for women to feel safe so that they can actually move forward from the stuck state, from that survival state, from that state of protection that their body is maybe holding them in. So it's all about creating this deep level of safety for the body. So I would call myself a somatic trauma recovery practitioner. That's another label that you might call me. Hopefully you'd only call me nice things, but there's just so many different titles you could put to what I do. But if you haven't heard of the word somatic, just to let you know, somatic just simply means that we're coming at this healing process from a body first approach. And I'll share a little bit more about this too, but for me, I discovered for my own self that just doing cognitive therapy and cognitive talking and processing was not enough for me. I tried that for 2 decades. It was not enough. I still came to the ends of myself 5 years ago. And so when I started discovering somatic healing and started really honoring my body and the wisdom it was holding on an emotional level and on an energetic level, I was not thumbsing up, but kudos, Zoom just always thinks I am, but we'll thumbs up that. I discovered though that the body is really wise and it will hold information. And if there is an incongruence, if there is a discrepancy between what I'm trying to think up here and what my body is actually feeling, then I can't move forward. So I'm finding that women in general will hold information in their body, suppressed emotion, and it can just stack and stack and stack and stack. The more we suppress stuff, the more it stacks, the more the body holds it. And at some point, your body will start yelling at you. Yelling, when I say yelling, it means like your body's going to have some symptoms and sensations that you don't like. So you might start going to the doctor because you have migraines all the time, or you have digestion problems, or you have sleep disturbances, or you have autoimmune disorders, or you have chronic fatigue or adrenal fatigue. Basically, when there's spikes of cortisol in the body that are intense, your body is just going to work on overtime to try and keep you surviving and keep you going. It's brilliant in the way that it's made, and it will work and work and work and work until it gets to a point where it doesn't work well anymore. And then we have a lot of dis-ease and dysfunction happening inside of the body. Chronic illness is just that. Chronic pain is just that. And that's a piece of my story too that I'll share in a little bit as well. But yeah, so today, this workshop is all about illuminating your path to wholeness. I want you to be able to come home to your body, to honor all parts of you. And I'm going to talk about parts work and somatic parts work because it was probably the number one thing that really transformed me. And I didn't find it at first in my somatic journey. I actually did a lot of brain retraining first. I hired a coach and she was really skilled with brain retraining. And the most somatic thing that I started with was like EFT tapping. So I'm an EFT tapping practitioner now too, because that was really helpful for me. And it kind of was my open door to discovering that there's this whole little somatic land of healing that I just had never heard about. But somatic parts work I found along the way, and there are a lot of cognitive and somatic therapists that are integrating it into the work that they do. Really good ones, in my opinion, will use parts work and IFS therapy. So I'm going to talk to you about the framework of that a little bit today and help you to understand a little bit about the power of it and why it's important and why it's needed. And I just want to also, I'm going to do a little education at the beginning, but then in the last half, we're going to actually experience things because I actually used to be an elementary school teacher and a special ed teacher. And for me, I believe that we have to embody and have a felt experience to truly understand what I'm saying and what I'm talking about. We just cannot come at healing from a cognitive process. It just isn't enough for most humans. It may help us to feel okay in the moment. It may help short term, but long term, we really need to help guide the body to feeling at peace and at ease. IFS stands for Internal Family Systems. So I'm going to talk about that. Thank you to those of you who are, helping me out in the chat there. Thank you so much. Love you, ladies. But I want you to know that you are truly the one that you've been waiting for. And my goal as a coach and practitioner is to always help empower and equip women with tools to be able to actually guide themselves through every experience that they have, every emotion. Okay. So there will be time at the end for questions too, but you're always welcome to throw a question in the chat in real time if you have a question. So I want to ask you first to start off, do you have trust and confidence in yourself to move through every emotional experience that you have? Like, do you hide, suppress, ignore messy emotions when they come up? Do you suppress and hide and ignore those parts of you that feel angry? These are what I mean by messy emotions, like the anger, the grief, the anxiety, the confusion, the bitterness, the resentment, shame. Because if you suppress and hide that, it means you don't trust in yourself and you don't have confidence in yourself to actually move through the emotions. It's not because you're doing something wrong. It's likely because you haven't been taught it. And this is just a skill. I want to make this as simple as we possibly can here and help you to recognize that emotional regulation and emotional intelligence is a skill. We are not born with it. It is not innate. It is learned along the way. Many of us did not grow up in homes where it was fostered and taught. And schools, frankly, unfortunately, are not teaching it. And so if you just don't know what you don't know, then you just keep doing what you're doing because you don't know any better, right? So I want you to know that you don't have to feel shame for that. You don't have to feel guilt for that. If the answer is no, I don't have trust and confidence in myself, and yes, I do hide and suppress and ignore messy emotions. It's the best analogy I want to use is I call it we feel an emotion, it feels messy, it feels scary, it feels like too much for us. We don't know what to do with it. So we kind of just shove it in the closet. And every time we feel that emotion again, it's like we go to shove it in the closet, and then guess what happens? More stuff is falling out of that closet from the past that we haven't dealt with. It's just in there. It's like a junk drawer, right? That goes to overflowing. It's like a junk closet. It just keeps piling up. And so then all of a sudden what you find is that you're in a situation where you actually are just upset about something really small, and you're like, why am I so angry about my husband not putting the underwear in the laundry basket, or my kid not putting their dishes in the dishwasher? I mean, little things start to become really big things. And it's not because you are having an irrational emotional experience. That's not it at all. It's because you are actually not just feeling that particular emotion in that moment for what is happening. You're feeling it for the chain link of all of the times before that you have felt that emotion in the past. And it just gets bigger and it gets heavier, and that chain starts getting heavy. And some people even just can start feeling it. It's like weighing them down, and it just feels heavier and heavier the more that we suppress it. So Makes sense. It makes perfect sense for all humans. If they don't have the skills, if they've not been taught them and they've not learned them, that they would feel heavy, anxious, overwhelmed, stressed, depressed. I mean, all of these emotions are valid. Angry, even. Angry at yourself for feeling those emotions. That's at least where I was. When I really had my nervous system collapse 5 years ago, that's what I was at, that place of disgust with myself, frustration, anger, and a little bit of self-hatred. Did not like what I saw in the mirror, did not like my thoughts, did not like my emotions, did not like my beliefs, did not like some of my behaviors. Not 100%, but parts of me. I didn't like parts of me. So I want to introduce you to our inner family of parts. So IFS therapy basically comes from internal family systems. It is this, you have this inside family of parts. And all these parts together make the whole of who you are. Okay. And so you'll have parts from when you were a baby. There's even parts of you that were really core developed inside of mom's womb. Okay. Like for me, I know that my nervous system was dysregulated before I even came into the world. It makes perfect sense because my mom, she was going through separation with my dad. They got divorced in the first year of my life. I was still a baby, and my mom was in fight, flight, or freeze. She was in survival mode. I was an oops. I was not planned because they were separating and things were not going good, and it was a random happening, apparently. Fun for me to know, fun fact. But anyways, it would make sense that my nervous system actually came into the world developed based on my mom's nervous system and where she was at inside of her own self. Chemically, as she's experiencing stress and those cortisol spikes inside her body, I'm inside her body experiencing it as well, right? So it's like it starts from before we're even born, really. And we have our child parts, we have younger child parts, we have these, middle school parts, we have teenage parts, we have all of these parts, and adult parts too. So this is what I love about parts work and IFS. They're used interchangeably, by the way, that language, is that it's so much bigger than just inner child healing. When everybody thinks of inner child healing, this is definitely inner child healing. But I like the framework of it because we're looking at every part of us that has existed before today as being younger, a younger part of us. Okay, so it's not just the inner child. Not everybody, people might start thinking, oh, we're just talking about the little kid version of me. No, we're talking about every part of you. And so you have parts that started to wear a mask at some point. You have parts of you that felt like you had to stay quiet, like you couldn't use your voice. And that's where like those chains represent kind of that. You have parts of you that felt ashamed and started hiding, right? Parts of you that felt exhausted. You have parts of you that felt not seen or heard or validated. But you also have beautiful parts that are lighthearted and playful and creative and calm and confident. You have those parts in you too, and they still exist as part of you. And as you see up in the top right corner, we have a firefighter and a police, because those, I liked throwing those in there because we have these protector parts of us. And I'm going to talk to you a little bit about that. Protector parts of us are working really darn hard to keep those wounded parts, those parts that really hurt, safe. The protector parts that we have don't want other wounded parts to have to feel that deep emotional pain again. They're scared that if you keep feeling that pain, something worse is going to happen. And we have these scared parts that actually are like constantly showing up and responding to try and help us. So really what I want to hone in on is all of these parts are really kind of like pieces of us, parts of us that are like trying to help us. Okay. They all have a piece. They're all a part of our team. Okay. A part of our family, so to speak. And they all have positive intentions. You have no bad parts of you. Even the parts you don't like, they are not bad. They are maladaptive coping strategies that evolved in most oftentimes traumatic, or maybe if you don't like using the word trauma, really overly stressful situations where you did not have either the skills, the resources, or like a compassionate presence to actually help walk you through what you were experiencing, or even maybe what you were not experiencing. Maybe it was because you were neglected and you didn't have a core need of yours met along the way. And these parts of you, they kind of come out to help us survive. Our body is brilliant. Our brain is brilliant. And it's always bent towards survival. So when we're a kid and our brains aren't fully developed until we're 25, we don't even have the complex reasoning skills to determine or understand what we're choosing in those moments. Our brain steps in. We have these protector parts that are trying to keep us safe from feeling that pain to too deep of a level. So we suppress it, we find a way to cope through it. And oftentimes as we go into adulthood, those coping strategies we discover are no longer helpful for us. They were at one point in our life, they were very helpful for us. But as we become adults, we kind of start hating some of those parts. We don't like some of the behaviors that we have, these patterns or these thought loops that just go on and on and on like a broken record in our head. They're originated oftentimes in those core developmental years as a child when things truly are out of our control. As children, you don't have a lot of say. You don't have a lot of control. And so it makes perfect sense that we just, we have parts of us that just kind of want to keep going. They want to keep us going and they want us to not be hurting. And we can be grateful for that because they really were trying to help us. They always have positive intentions. So what I want you to understand is that all of these pieces of you are like puzzle pieces. If you see it as a puzzle, when they all come together, that is when you are whole. But if we keep suppressing and ignoring and pushing away all of these parts of us, then you have these fragmented, hurting parts that are longing for something. They need a core need to be met. They have these unmet core needs and they just hide in the dark because they start feeling like you don't want them there. You're not listening to them because maybe you just don't know how. And that's okay. Like there's an opportunity to learn it. That's what I'm about to teach. That's what I'm all about, is wanting to teach and equip women to know how to actually acknowledge, honor, accept, understand, and love these wounded, hurting, and scared parts of you in order for them to feel whole. If there is a core unmet need from the past, you will continue to live from that core unmet need. It's like a missing puzzle piece. It's a gap. It's what I like to call a void. We live from that void. And every decision we make, every thought we have, every behavior starts running through like this, basically this programming in our brain that is all based on getting that core need met in some way, somehow, even if it's destructive and harmful to us. We begin to live from that wounded part of us. We function from the woundedness because we're suppressing. It's really as simple as that. Because we have suppressed emotions that we didn't know how to deal with it, these parts of us are still burdened, okay? And so they need you, not me. I'm the guide. I teach women and I guide women. Yes, I do like one-on-one. I do one-to-one coaching. I do group coaching. And I do, I have an Awaken membership where we meet and do somatic classes together every week online, just kind of like bits and pieces of what you'll see here. Like we do classes and workshops, embodied experiences, hands-on practicing, to help you start to unburden these parts of you and help you come home to your body and lovingly respond to your hurting parts. Okay. But they need you. They need you to help unburden them. And so I'm training you to be able to do this on your own. You have to be the one to do it. The wisdom is inside of your body. I have a lot of thoughts and insights and ideas, and I am a very intuitive healer. And so I have knowings, and I can see and I can lead people to the places that they need to find within themselves that are still hiding in there, to those burdened parts. And I help you to unburden them, but you're the one who does the unburdening, not me. It's you. And so it's an empowering experience, so empowering. You really take your power back when you recognize you have the power in you to do that. It's amazing. It's flippin' amazing. So let me just show you in a nutshell, very, very basic. I'm not digging into this deep tonight, ladies. I'm just giving you this overview of it. You have a core self part. All of us have a core self part, okay? And in the middle of that self part, you can see on the right side, the wise self emerges when you're safe to embody these different things. So when you're calm, when you're clear and have clarity of mind, when you're curious, connected, courageous, confident, creative, compassionate, when you have presence, when you have patience, when you have perspective, when you have persistence and playfulness, when those parts of you come out, you can connect with the core self, the true self, okay? So that part is always a part of us, and we want that part to be the leader of these other wounded parts and these other scared parts. So IFS is all about helping you to get to know and understand these parts instead of fighting with them. Because oftentimes, if you are not at peace inside of you, it's because you have parts of you that are kind of at war with each other. Like there's a tug of war. It's like that angel metaphor on the one shoulder, the devil on the other shoulder. It's kind of like that, but it's like you have two parts of you that feel different things. This part's feeling this, and then all of a sudden, a protector part comes in. So like when the wounded exile, so at the bottom there, when the wounded exile, that's the vulnerable part of us that carries the pain and the deep emotion. Oftentimes it is from childhood and from younger days. When that part comes up and is feeling shame and not good enough and like they're too much, or they feel rejected, or they feel wounded and traumatized and lonely, when all of those kind of messier emotions start to come out of us, we have protector parts that show up. So we have this wounded exile that starts talking, and then woof, all of a sudden a protector part comes on board, and that's the manager or a firefighter, and they have different roles. So the firefighter is the one that shows up immediately and tries to, it's like an automatic reactive response to extinguish the pain. This is oftentimes where addiction starts, okay? So they're like the first responder that's creating the illusion of stability by causing you to distance from the pain. All of a sudden, you're feeling the big, messy emotions. What do? You pick up your phone and you start scrolling. That's a firefighter, okay? You numb out, drink alcohol, smoke, do, CBD, do something to numb out and disconnect from the pain, because the pain is scary and it feels like too much. Or you just go and you're like, I'm just going to go do my nails and I'm going to go get a massage, but you're still not dealing with the core inside of yourself. Is that kind? Yeah, sure. But it's like you find all these adaptive ways to cope to not have to feel the pain. That's what the firefighters do. So some of us have big firefighters, some of us don't. Some of us have bigger manager parts, and these are protectors too. And managers actually are proactive. They're working behind the scenes kind of all the freaking time, honestly. They're working to prevent the pain. They want to prevent the exile from coming out. So they will overperform and they will overproduce and they will people please. And this is where anxiety lives. This is where perfectionism, procrastination is as well. The overachiever, the caretaker, the I'm just going to focus on helping everybody else. And the self-sabotage part of you, like these are protector parts. And we can recognize that both managers and firefighters really are just lovingly responding to the exile part. They don't want the exile part to have to feel more pain. Okay. So this is kind of the nutshell premise of IFS work, of this parts work. What I do that's really cool is a somatic approach. I'm a trained practitioner in somatic parts work. And so, meaning we're going to the body, we're sensing where sensation is at in your body. We're connecting with the part of you that is actually showing up through a sensation in your body or through a symptom of some kind. So oftentimes, I'm not coming at it from a cognitive approach. I'm coming at it from a somatic approach. We're grounding into our body. We're connecting with the sensations. We're lovingly responding to the sensations. We're lovingly engaging with that part of us. We're connecting with, seeing on a visual level, the part of us that originated at the core root. When did this emotional experience and feeling really start? Because that's the part that holds the key to you getting out of the cage that you're living in. When you feel stuck, it's like living in a cage. That's the best visual that I have for it, personally. It's either the chain link wrapped around you, holding you down, or you're like in a cage. That's how I felt, at least. I felt trapped. I felt stuck. I didn't know how to get out of it. And those parts that are wounded, the exiled parts, they're the ones really that we have to gently and create safety for them to be seen and heard and validated, so that we can help unburden them. And we create a reconciliation experience for them on a somatic level that then your body has this deep felt sense of, yeah, I'm okay now. And the sensations, the symptoms actually disappear on their own. Instead of us trying to get rid of sensations and symptoms, they just start to soften and melt and fade away on their own. So the migraines, they're not as intense anymore. They start slowly dissipating. The chronic pain does the same, okay? So I'm going to show you and share with you just a little piece of my story, because mine was marked with chronic pain, okay? That was my big factor. And I want to share my story with my face more, but I just want you to look at here first and just see. In 2020, so 5 years ago, I would say I had my dark night of the soul, my second dark night of the soul. And these are pictures from those moments. Ice on my shoulders, then heat on my shoulders and on my neck. Muscle relaxers, tears, lots of sleeping, shut down, crying. Yeah. I was in survival big time, could not function fully. And I'm going to stop the share because I just feel like I need to show my face because this is so deep and so personal. And yeah, I know, like when I'm sharing my screen, it's like there's just a little version of me. And I want you just to feel me when I share this. So, I've been through a lot of trauma from day one of my life, starting with my parents getting divorced. My dad abandoned me, was not involved in my life very much. And then he would come and it's kind of like sporadic. But he was a workaholic. That was his addiction. His firefighter was, that was a manager. His manager was just all about working. And I guess in some way it was probably a firefighter too for him. Anyways, I grew up with a deep void inside of me, of a deep wound of not feeling good enough, of not feeling loved. And I tried like hell to prove to myself and to others that I was good enough. So my teenage part of me pardon my French if it offends you, but she's a badass. Like she's a warrior. She like she was kind of like, we're done feeling all the pain. We're gonna just do, and we're gonna show the world how great we are. And whew, that was exhausting. That was so exhausting. So I go into college exhausted because my high school part of me was like, let's just do and be the very best, and let's make dad notice. And I didn't even know that's what I was doing at the time, but later I realized that that's what that part of me was doing. She just wanted to feel good. She wanted to feel loved. She wanted to feel accepted by others. She just wanted to feel good enough. And so I got married really young, like really young. I walked down the aisle at age 21 and got divorced 10 years later. But in the midst of that was a traumatic accident where my ex-husband was paralyzed in a wheelchair. And the last 4 years of our marriage, I was a caretaker of him refusing medical care, him, like it was a very, very toxic relationship. But we also talked about divorce in the first like month of our marriage. I actually knew before I went down the aisle. And I actually knew before he proposed, and I told him not to propose, and he still had an elaborate proposal planned. And I was 20 years old, and I had no voice. I just had no confidence and no voice. And I told him I thought we should like not be talking about engagement, and we needed to just set that to the side. And he still went forward with it, and I didn't know how to say no. I cussed in my head the whole time, honestly. I cried before I went down the aisle. I threw up after the ceremony, and I felt like I made this vow, and my dad had paid, interestingly enough, he's the one who paid for my wedding, right? But he paid for my wedding, and I felt ashamed if I didn't do whatever I could to make it work. So I stayed for 10 years, and then after trauma happened and things went really south and really bad, and I felt like I was beating my head on a brick wall and blood was just coming down, and I had a toddler to take care of, and I was just like, my husband at the time, he was not healthy. He was in bed. He was not taking antidepressants. He was very depressed. He was just living a life of deceit too. And I couldn't take it anymore. And I knew my daughter needed one healthy parent, and I was not a healthy version of myself. I did not like who I was and who I was becoming, and everything felt out of control. So I took my power back and left that marriage. And then I got myself into this other marriage a handful of years later. And it was a very, very difficult blended family situation. And I'm still married to him. We've been married 9 years together, 10. And in 2020, that was 5 years ago, we almost lost our marriage. Because of the blended family struggle and one of my bonus daughters. So I have 3 bonus daughters. I have 1 daughter of my own, and then I have 3 bonus daughters. And my oldest bonus daughter was rejecting me, and all of the wounds of my childhood came right back up. Because you see, I also failed to mention that my brother was fairly abusive to me in middle school. That's why that high school version of me came out like a badass, like, we're not feeling this pain anymore. We didn't know what to do with it. We had nobody to be present with us in it. So she just like kind of overcompensated and didn't want to feel it. So she numbed out by doing. And she was good at doing for a long time. But anyways, my bonus daughter brought out all of the woundedness of my father leaving me, because she abandoned us. She rejected me and my daughter after living 50% of the time with us for 4 years at that point. And we had a lot of really good, beautiful moments too. But she was a strong-willed child, but something shifted, and mom turned against me, and then started turning, like she had been actively trying. I should mention there were a lot of drugs and alcoholism in the home, and they were trying to turn the kids against us, and it worked. And so the oldest daughter turned not only against me and my daughter, but also my husband, and believed a bunch of lies about him, and became very volatile in our home. And we kept just saying, love's going to win. Love's going to win. We're just going to keep loving her. We're just going to keep showing her that we love her and we want her here and we care about her, until it got to a point where she almost got physical with me. Like, she was very emotionally and verbally volatile, but she like went at me because I had said no to something that she wanted to do. I was like, no, we're not going to do that right now. We can do it tomorrow, but we're not going to do that right now. And she just kept ramping up and ramping up. And anyways, long story long, sorry. She ended up, moving out, and then stonewalled my husband. And I felt tremendous guilt and shame because she blamed me and her mom blamed me for all of that daughter's like mental health problems was blamed on me for existing in her life. It was just, yeah, there's just so much there. And then basically what I want you to know is that my nervous system completely collapsed. You see, I had already found myself in 2008 and 2009, back when the accident had happened for my ex-husband. I found myself at the ends of myself because he was refusing medical care and I was put in an impossible situation. And I kept choosing to do the caretaking and loving him through it. And I wanted to die. I had a vision of how I was going to do it. And it scared the hell out of me. And I didn't do anything to hurt myself. Thank God. Like, I didn't choose that. But once you have a vision of it, it's scary, right? It's scary. And once you have a neural pathway that goes there, it's easy to go there again. And I found that to be true in 2020. So when my stepdaughter left, it was like all the wounds of my brother, even though I had gone through talk therapy for 2 decades, people, 20 years of talk therapy off and on, trying to heal my childhood and, my first marriage wounds and all that kind of stuff. I thought I had dealt with it. I thought I had expressed it from my body. Oh no, my body alarm was so high. I was stuck in fight, flight, or freeze, and I was in chronic pain all the time. My neck and my shoulders hurt so much that I couldn't function. And I knew I was stressed. I knew I was grieving. I knew I had experienced PTSD with my ex-husband and things of the past. Like, I knew I had some of that. But it took a doctor looking me in the eye saying, like, you have like complex PTSD. This pain is because of emotions. And I'm like, well, that makes more sense because I've tried chiropractors, I've tried physical therapy, I've tried massage therapy, I've tried cupping, I've tried dry needling. I tried acupuncture. I was trying all of the things. I tried medicine, and it just was never enough to get rid of my chronic pain. And so I opened up me to realizing, she dug in, she was more holistic, and she dug in a lot more to like, what is the truth of like, what happened here? And yes, Sylvia, The Body Keeps the Score is a book that I own. And yes, The Body Keeps the Score is definitely a very good book. Yes, for sure. Thank you for sharing that. So many good books, but that is definitely a foundational book. But I found myself in this place where I kind of had that defining moment of like, I want to die again. I feel hopeless. I don't know how to get out of this. I have zero dreams, zero motivation at this point. Everything's just gone. Had nothing left to give anybody else, and I had nothing left to give myself. I found myself at the ends of myself because I wasn't just dealing with what was actually happening in present moment. My body physiologically, biologically, on a chemical level, remembered cellularly every emotional experience that was traumatic before that moment. And it will trigger the remembrance of those emotions of the past too. So I was feeling everything from my middle school part of me. I was feeling it from the child part of me. It was so heavy and debilitating. And so I discovered that, at that point, I said, I'm never going to do something different, and I will keep moving forward, and I will keep trying different things until I find something that works. because I'm just not doing it anymore. I've already spent thousands of dollars and it's never helped me enough. And here I am again. So I started brain retraining, I started EFT tapping, and I opened up the door to parts work, and the rest is history. Like, I am living now from the empowered state instead of the survival state, because I just kept doing things that were different. I learned new skills and did different things to help create safety and connection and allow my body to have felt experiences of that safety so that I could actually move forward. Because without that felt safety, your brain, your subconscious mind, these parts of you will protect you and hold you back. If the body does not feel safe, you will continue to stay stuck. So, yeah, thank you for letting me share a piece of my journey. Obviously, it's very thick, and I have even more than that, unfortunately, that's happened in my life, but those are the biggest nutshells. So I'm gonna go back to sharing my screen for just a second here. These are the illustrations that I would use to describe that stuck survival feeling and moving to the empowered state, right? Like, if you look at the body level, like, felt experience, the energy of the little girl or the girl that's in the survival cage, look at her body. She's hunkered down. It's why our shoulders go like this. When people have trauma, we're hiding, we're isolating, we're protecting, okay? In empowered state, the chest is open. We're standing taller. We feel powerful. We feel more in control. We don't feel like that heavy despair from feeling out of control, okay? So it's an embodied experience that takes place through thoughts, beliefs, actions, values. Those are all key players in this. And so I know this is a lot of words, okay? So I'm just gonna read this to you, but I want you, if you have a pen or a paper or just your fingers to count or something, and some of you have seen this before, but I've actually tweaked it, and I have a little bit of a different list here, but I want you to actually track how many things do you that like resonate and do you experience from this survival state. So let's just go down the survival state, okay? So the false self, so you're living from that protective state. So you feel like you have to protect yourself, okay? So you can make a little tally mark or something if that's something you experience. You have closed off energy. You feel stuck, and the energy feels stuck, and you don't know how to move it through your body. You repress, ignore, or bypass the emotions that come up that feel messy and heavy that you don't know what to do with or that you don't like. You respond from insecurity and woundedness. You're really responding to other people, wanting them to fill your needs, wanting them to do XYZ for you. You experience emotional instability, a lot of up and down. You have low self-worth, meaning you don't like yourself, you don't believe in yourself. Maybe you have distrust in yourself and lack that confidence. You're critical and judgmental with yourself primarily, and that oozes over into your relationships with others, and you find yourself being critical and judgmental of others, even the people you love. You're hypervigilant and on guard, looking for the next thing, the next shoe to drop, the next bad thing to happen, anticipating it. You're dysregulated. Your whole nervous system is dysregulated. You feel anxious, stressed, and overwhelmed, or you feel numb and disassociated, like disconnected, meaning you feel like depressed and shut down. Maybe you feel confused and indecisive. Making decisions is really hard. Maybe you have tight shoulders, neck, back, or just pain, some sort of pain in your body. You feel exhaustion and chronic fatigue in the survival state. You have struggles with sleep, struggles with digestion, so you may have stomach issues too. You focus a lot on your body symptoms and the sensations that you're having in your body. You have maybe autoimmune disorders happening, chronic illness happening. You isolate and hide from people. because it all feels like too much, or because people don't feel safe and you don't trust them. You lack awareness of what's happening in real time, the depths of it, the connection to the roots of it, awareness of what's happening within other people even too. You're resentful, bitter, or angry still about the past. You see, I'm not angry and bitter about my stepdaughter anymore. I'm not. I was for a very long time. I'm not anymore. I'm actually grateful it all happened. Would I go back and change it if I could write the story like I would want to? Sure. I would never want to go through that. I would never want her to go through that. I would never want any of us to go through that. The entire family went through it. But I wouldn't be coaching you ladies here today if it wasn't because of that experience. It took me to the ends of myself, and I allowed something very beautiful to grow from it. And the key is you have to allow it. And the other big piece of the survival state is living in the victim mindset, thinking everything and everyone is against you and looking for the evidence of that constantly. And you see a very narrow perspective. You're seeing only your point of view. Okay? Put in the chat if you want to be honest and vulnerable, because I'm all about authenticity, and this is the only way that we really step on this path towards living from wholeness, is by being truly authentic with ourselves and authentic with others. How many of these things on the list did you resonate with, or that you've been experiencing? "18, 14, 16, 10, all of them at some point. Thank you so much, ladies, for being honest and vulnerable here. 15, 9, 8, today 9. And you're right. I like how you said today, Sylvia, because, some days maybe we're not as much with some of those, right? But like in general, overall, like we can notice, yeah, somebody else said 22, 14. Yeah, thank you so much, ladies, for being honest about that. Let's look, though, at the empowered state. And this is the roadmap I'm taking women through, is moving from this state over to the empowered state, okay? And through different ways. We're coming into allowing that true self, that wise self to emerge. That wise self in IFS, that part becomes the leader. That part becomes our dominant part of us, and the other parts are just in need. And we use the strength, the courage, the compassion, the curiosity, the confidence of that wise higher self part of us to lead the other parts. Okay, that's the goal. So we're moving towards that true self. We're moving towards open energy and having skills and tools to be able to move energy through our body. When we're having a day, like, a day where everything feels heavy, or we just feel stuck, or we just feel icky inside, and we don't even have the right words to put into it, like to put on whatever it is that's happening inside of us. Like being able to actually physiologically start to shift the energy through the body again. That's the goal. That's what we're trying to do here too. It's not just from a cognitive perspective. It has to be from a body level perspective too. We're expressing emotion with a full sensory approach. So the somatic experience for me is all about using every sense to express. We're not just talking through words. We are showing the body it's safe to express from the body too. We're responding from security and the wholeness of us, knowing that the emotions and the parts of us that are showing up are just a small part of us. It may be a small part that's loud, that needs your attention more, but if we can neutralize and start looking at things and experiencing emotion from a more of an observer state, a witness, being a witness to the emotions don't have to overpower us anymore. They don't get to be in the driver's seat, because we invite the wise self back into the driver's seat. We do practices, somatic practices, to connect and allow and create safety for that wise self leader to come back into that driver's seat and say, okay, but guess what? We're not kicking that part that you don't like off the bus. Or I like to say, out of my Mustang. I don't want IFS, we use the bus analogy, but I'm like, what do you want to drive? What do you want to do? My daughter the other day said, she's like, I want to drive a helicopter. I'm like, all right, well, we're not kicking your parts off the helicopter here. Like we're not kicking them off the boat. We're not kicking them out of the Corvette or the Mustang or the other bus. They're staying. They're an essential, needed, necessary part of your team, a part of your family, so to speak. And so we're not trying to get rid of them. We're bringing them along with us. And they actually are the key to our emotional stability. We need them. We need skills to create safety, to connect with them, because they're the ones that will get you out of that cage and into an empowered state. So moving on, this empowered state, you value yourself, you trust yourself, and you have confidence. You're compassionate, soft, and gentle with yourself and others. You're curious and courageous. You have a flexible nervous system, which means you go in and out of fight, flight, and freeze all day, because all humans do. We go in and out of it more flexibly. We don't get stuck in a state for long, long, long periods of time. We know how to guide ourselves through the wave of the nervous system. We're mindfully present. We're connected. Oh, we're connected. That's hilarious. Typo, but I guess my subconscious mind wanted to let us know that we really need to be connected with self and others. We're grounded and calm, clarity of mind, relaxed body, energized, creative, living with purpose and in flow, a flow state. We engage playfully and even joyfully. And even if that's not possible quite yet, or it feels too far for you, it's bringing in more of those light energies and emotions that help bring balance to our nervous system. They're so important. We're self-aware, we're tuned in authentically. We forgive self and others. We're open to possibility, and we have a growth mindset instead of that victim mindset. Everything is working for my highest good. Every bad thing that's happened in the past is allowing me to become who I am created to be today and tomorrow. It's all used. It's all fertilization for the blooms, the beautiful lotus blooms like behind me that grow from the deep, dark, muddy mess at the bottom of a pond. It's needed. It's a part of it. It's part of being human. And we see perspective. We see first, second, and third person point of view. So that's a lot of what I'm teaching my clients to do too, is to get out of their own small vision that they're hyper focused on and start to see things from a much bigger perspective. That sounds pretty great, doesn't it? To live from the empowered state. How many of you want to live from the empowered state more often than the survival state? Say, I do in the chat, or yes, please. Yes, that sounds pretty amazing, right? I know, more than just, yes, okay, there they are. They're all coming in. Yeah, so are you responding to stressors and triggers from the place of woundedness or from wholeness? That's really the question here. You have to get real with yourself and answer that. Are you trying to get other people to make you feel accepted, to make you feel understood deep inside, to make you feel loved, or to meet your core needs? Be real. Be real with yourself. I 100% was. I was totally functioning from that place. I was totally functioning from everything on that survival state in 2020. And I was responding to my husband and to the people I love from woundedness. And guess what I was creating? More woundedness. Because I just didn't know how. I didn't know how else to respond differently. So you're not responding from a place of wholeness because you have unresolved emotions stuck. If we keep this simple, they're just trapped inside of you. Parts of you were fragmented and stuck in confusion or sadness or anger or shame during challenging or traumatic experiences. And these parts might feel like you're against them or mad at them when they show up. And maybe you are. Maybe you don't like those parts that show up, but this is all about embracing those parts and loving them and coming home to them and creating safety for them. So I want you to recognize that your relationship with yourself sets the tone for every relationship that you have. If you don't know, like, and trust your own self, you will always struggle in relationship with others. I know that's a pretty big statement to make, but it's 100% true. Your relationships are a mirror to the inner relationship that you have with yourself. And so if you are bleeding out of your woundedness onto other people, or if you are attracting other people into your life from that wounded space, you just continue to reinforce the cycles of the past in that woundedness. And you recreate more of that woundedness over and over and over again. It's just what the brain does. Our brains are always seeking familiarity and repetition. And so even if something is harmful to us or hurtful, it will cause us to, end up doing things that are damaging to ourselves. And it just continues to seek that pattern and that belief because it feels familiar. That's all. So we have to create new neural pathways and new familiarity for the brain, okay? And so let me just tell you, there's 6 ways that women can create inner stability. This is the 6 ways that I've come up with to help themselves live from wholeness. So see and check in with yourself. Are you doing any of these things? You're developing a new embodied response to stress and emotional triggers. It means you're actually changing how you respond to emotion and stressors when they come up in real time. Like, are you learning how to do that? Are you somatically, body level, connecting to your body as a source of wisdom? Are you leaning in to listen to what your body is actually communicating to you because it's desperately trying to? Through symptoms and sensations, it is trying to get your attention and it's telling you that it's in need. Your body is a smoke detector and it's going off. If there's symptoms and sensations happening, it's just your body saying, hey, do you see me? Do you hear me? Do you feel me? It's a part of you that's really, really scared or really overwhelmed or really hurting and in need of you. Are you equipping yourself to embody the emotional safety and stability? Like, are you learning the skills to be able to do that? Learning to offer self-acceptance and self-compassion. Are you lovingly responding to the heavy, scared, and hurting parts within you? Are you valuing and magnifying the lighter parts within you too? Because they're still very much a part of you. Even if they're hiding in the shadows, they need brought out with intention. They need permission to exist and bring balance and help lovingly wrap around the darker, heavy, hurting parts and create. They help create the safety to move forward. They help create ease and deep level peace in your life that then opens the door to more joy too. Okay. So I wanted to share a video testimonial with you, but I think I've already talked longer than I really anticipated because I can get a little long-winded. Sorry about that. So I'm going to share. Sorry, not sorry. It's who I am. I'm passionate. I care deeply about what I'm doing. And so I don't have to apologize for that, right? In real time, let's model that. We don't have to apologize for being who we are. I'm passionate. Of course, I'm going to talk and share from a passionate place. It's all good. Thank you, Rosalind. It's all good. So I'm going to send it out instead in an email afterwards with the replay, and you can check it out if you want. Okay. I'm just going to move right along because I really want to get to the embodied part, the somatic part of connecting and tuning in with your body. So I'm going to stop this screen share. Okay. And just ask in real time too if there's any questions about what I just shared before we move into the actual embodied experience. Any questions that came up for you as I was talking about just the IFS and parts work and living from that wholeness? Thank you, ladies. Holly says, we're here to hear you. It all made sense for you, Rosalind. Good. So my membership does cover a lot of things. And actually, some of my members are in here and they could probably even type in the chat if there's something that if ladies, feel free to hop in at any time and share anything, because there's definitely several of my members are in here too. My membership is more of a somatic experience, and I have a resource hub that has all the replays from every class I've done, and also sections based on emotions and categories of somatic practices, meditations, visualizations that you can go into and do anytime you need it. But we have like 2 somatic experiences together each week. We do different workshops each month. This is the workshop I'm doing this time. I'm inviting you into. Some of those people who are not members are joining my members today to be a part about this. But it is, it's more of the felt experience part. But it's definitely not as deep with the IFS work, because what I do with the IFS work is more in the group coaching and the one-to-one coaching. So just to let you know that is the meat and potatoes of my group coaching and my one-to-one coaching. Mostly the Awaken membership is about awakening to become more consciously aware of things. I'm creating conscious awareness. I'm helping you connect safely to your body, to experience emotions, to express emotions. So we're connecting with parts of us, but I'm not leading you all the time to dig into the deep core roots, because I want to be able to respond and be able to be present for those parts if I draw them out. So we are drawing some of those parts out at times, but it's definitely a part of who I am and what I teach from. It's the foundation, yes, but it's just, and when it comes to parts work, it's just not as in depth. It's just not as in depth because I can't. It's just not the right space to do that. But yes, Holly's like, the membership does cover a lot of this stuff too. It does. I just, let's see the question. Could you say more about what top-down brain retraining you did and how that fits with this? Yes. So, I mean, brain retraining, I was doing a lot of mindset work and reframing perspectives. It's where I started learning visualization. So there were good things, there were good aspects of the brain retraining work that I did, but it was still just a cognitive approach, to be very honest. It's still a cognitive approach. So for me, it was a starting point of what my trauma recovery coach did with me, but my sensitive nervous system needed more. My sensitive nervous system still had a discrepancy held in my body between what I was trying to do with the brain retraining, and my body was just not in alignment with it. My body still felt very unsafe, and I was stuck in a very high level self-protection mechanism, or state, I guess I should say, state. So I don't know if that really covers your question, Faye, but yeah. Mallory says the membership's been transformative for me. The first time I saw that list, that was all me. Today, I tallied 8. Oh my gosh, Mallory, thank you so much for sharing that win. Yes, gosh, that's so beautiful. So yeah, it's really transformational just to even do just the hands-on part. Angela said, membership is great. There's so much support and content no matter what you may be going through. I love the hub to go to when I'm feeling a certain emotion. And she has a section for different emotions. And you can just choose a resource to help you move through it. Yes, 100%. And some people just really, really love the live classes because when we're living from a survival state, we isolate. Coming into a safe space where it's a judgment-free zone is really, really helpful. For sure. Holly's like, love the live classes. Yes. And I love it too. And it's, so powerful to actually embody and experience it. Okay. I think I answered any questions. Faye, I hope I answered your question to the level of what you were really asking. And if not, you're welcome to message me um, and talk more one-to-one. Mallory said, yes, the live classes force you to make time for yourself. Yes, because how many of us don't? And our nervous systems are struggling for it, right? Yes. Yes, yes, yes. Okay. You girls ready to have an embodied experience? Because that's what I'm here for. This is what I'm all about. This is my passion, is not about just freaking talking about it, although we have to talk about it because there's understanding that has to happen on a cognitive level. But I want you to feel it and I want you to experience it. Oh, Angela, that was sweet. She said Jill is really caring too. As being a member, when I've started isolating, she personally reached out in a loving, caring way, and it meant so much. No, I'm so glad it's been meaningful for you. Because I don't want people to isolate, because I know. Let's just look at the list. I know if you're in a survival state, you're going to isolate. It's part of it, right? We need other people to just kind of reach in and be like, hey, you okay? How's it going? Haven't seen you in a while. Yeah. And I try to do that. I don't do it effectively with everybody. But the people who actually have showed up at one point or another and actually are taking the steps to step in, and I start building relationship with them, I notice when you're not there. I notice and I care. So, yes. Okay, let's go. Let's do this. I'm going to start some music. And what I'm going to encourage you to do for this first song before we start, everything is an invitation. You can do some of it, you can do none of it. Okay? Go at the rate of your own nervous system and what feels good for you in this moment, what feels nourishing. I used to call my membership Nourish. I'm calling it Awaken now because I feel like we're awakening to a deeper level of embodied consciousness, and we are nourishing our body, our mind, our spirit, our soul, our heart. So we're nourishing is a piece of it. But I want you to take your power back. I want you to reclaim your power. And so it's so much bigger than just nourish. Nourish is a part of it for sure. But yeah, I want you to awaken. So these embodied experiences are about really coming home to yourself. I'm trying to get my little headset to work here. I wanted to. So as we start, what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to actually invite you to get into a spot where you can put your legs up the wall, if that feels okay to you. If that doesn't feel okay to you and you don't like that idea of doing that, then don't do it, okay? I give you full permission to follow and honor the lead of your body, all right? So what that looks like is you're just putting your booty up against the wall and having your legs go up the wall, okay? And so if you don't want to do that, you can just kind of get into a cozy place and get comfortable in your spot. And I just want you to take in the words of the song as you just breathe. All you have to do is breathe. That's the only thing you have to do. I want you to focus on breathing in through your nose, like maybe for a count of 4, and then out your mouth for like a count of 8. You don't have to do the counting. Counting can overstimulate people sometimes. But just know that I want your exhale to be long and slow, slower than your inhale. And can you hear music? Can somebody tell me if you can hear the music? That would be really helpful. If you can't, maybe a thumbs up or a thumbs down. No music. Oh man, every now and then it just farts. I hate that. I get so mad at this. I haven't had it do it in a long time. All right, we're ditching it. Every now and then I have a system glitch, so I'm just going to keep coming back to talk to you here. It's fine. It's fine, it's fine, it's fine. I'm gonna go ahead and, can you hear the music now? Okay, good, thank you. Thanks so much, Holly, I appreciate you. All right, I'm gonna start this over, okay. So this is just a really loving song. And again, putting your legs just up the wall. I want you to begin to honor your body. And I want you just to honor your body. Maybe you put a hand on your heart, or maybe you just open your hands open with your palms open. Breathing in through your nose and out your mouth real slow, real loving. And I just want you to send love and light to your body and fill up your heart space with love, with compassion, offering yourself compassion for everything that's happened before this moment. I never asked them to, oh, I love my body. You can't hear the music? People are saying they can't hear it. Loves me. I love okay. My body, 'cause my body loves me. Let me know. And I'm so sorry that sometimes I forget that you're the reason I'm alive. I'd call your names, list things I hate and want to hide, but I will try to be more kind. And it's okay if only a part of you believes this. Only 5 or 10% of yourself feels like you love your body right now. That's okay. Maybe just offer what you can. Energetically. Offering love to your body. Thanking your body for all that it does for you. Coming home to our body. And I never asked it to. 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 I'm going to invite you to go ahead and come out of the legs up the wall position and come back to either a laying flat position or sitting up. I want you to connect with a hand on your heart and maybe a hand on your stomach, or if it feels better for you, even just 2 hands on your heart. But I want you to come in towards yourself with some presence here. Just notice and feel even the shift in your body from before doing the legs up the wall and breathing and honoring your body to now. That was just 4 minutes of energetically moving towards yourself with love and kindness. But I want you to start noticing the sensations in your body. What is your body drawing your attention towards? I'm going to go through each part of your body, and I just want you to do a little inventory and just check in. What's here? Just notice as a neutral observer, not judging. Starting at the top of your head, just noticing if there's any sensations or symptoms or anything popping out at you. Noticing the level of tension in your body as you go down your face, into your jaw. Noticing if it feels tight or soft. Does it feel open and closed? Which one? As we go through these body parts, just kind of seeing the tension held here. Going into your neck and your shoulders. Noticing where it's held. Noticing what's here. Moving down the top of your back to the lower back. Just kind of observing and scanning. Doing a little body scan here. And coming back around to your chest. Just noticing, does it feel tight? Does it feel constricted? Does it feel open? Does it feel closed? Moving down into your stomach and your lower abdomen and pelvic floor area. Moving into your hips, just scanning and noticing. Moving down your legs, your ankles, your feet. And I forgot our arms and hands. Just noticing. Noticing that your body is speaking to you always through sensations. What is here right now? I want you to just rate this on a scale of 1 to 10, with 10 being high and being a lot. What is the level of stress activation in your body? What is the level of tension and stress that you're holding in your body? Level of stress, tension, tightness, anxiety, fight, flight, freeze, just noticing it and just kind of putting a number to it. Not judging it, just neutrally observing it. And I want you to notice what part of your body is holding the most energy, stress, tension. What part of your body is screaming out to you the loudest? When you think about that body scan, where's your body? Maybe sometimes if you can't assess it and if you're struggling, you can just kind of move parts of your body and you can kind of tune in to what's here in my shoulders, what's here in my back, what's here in my stomach area, what's here in my legs and my arms and my jaw. Sometimes we don't know because we're so disconnected that maybe it takes a little movement just to connect a little deeper. Just notice, where's your body holding it? The most, even if it's in multiple places, which one's bigger, louder? And all I want you to do is put your hand on it. If it's in a place where you can reach it, if it's like your neck and your shoulders, for example, you can put your hand on your neck and shoulder. And all I want you to do is say, I see you. I feel you. I'm with you. And just tell your body, I'm listening. I'm here. This is just a part of you that's showing up. What do the sensations feel like on the inside of your body right now? Does it feel like knots? Does it feel like twisting? Does it feel like pressure? Does it feel like pulling? I mean, you can get really specific with the imagery of what it feels like on the inside. Is it sludge-like? Is it like putty? Is it like a brick? Is it wire? Is it a rod? Is it, made of steel? What does that tense part feel like as in the inside? And is that tension, is it moving? Is the energy moving in there, or is it just stuck, motionless? Is there pressure coming inward or going outward, or down or up? And what does the energy feel like? If you were to give it a color, what does it feel like in the inside? What does it look like? What color comes up? Don't overthink it. Don't judge it. We're just trying to get a little more connected with the body. And I want you just to ask this part of your body. Ask the sensations. What are you holding here? What emotions, what energy is being held here? And just listen. And I want to invite you to breathe into that space in your body. And I want you to cushion those sensations with a beautiful cloud of love and compassion. And maybe even some light, whatever color of light feels really soothing and tender and gentle. Just fill it up. Fill that space. We're not trying to get rid of this part of you. We want to honor it. We want to create safety for it. We want it to feel secure. So let it be here. Accept that it's here right now. And we're not trying to get rid of it. We just want to understand it. And I just want you to thank your body for letting you know what it's holding. If you were able to access that, I want you just to thank your body for letting you know what it's holding here. And I want you just to connect and ask this part of you, what do you need to feel safe and supported by me? Maybe it's anger, maybe it's fear that's being held here. Maybe it's grief. Just ask this part of you, what do you need from me right now? Do you need words? If so, what words? What words would be supportive and helpful and loving? And just speak to this part of you for just a moment. Or lean in a little further with curiosity to connect with this part. Maybe even seek to see what core need has not been met for this part. What is it still seeking to try and resolve or seeking to do to help you? Lean in. Even when every part of you wants to lean out, lean in. Even when you want to disconnect. This is just a very, very small, brief way of connecting with a part of you. You're not digging in deep tonight. We're just creating safety to start connecting with parts of us. These emotions are parts of us. You can even ask this part of you, how long has it been here? How long has your body been holding it? Just ask your body, ask the sensations. How long has it been here? How long has this been stuck here?
It's time to be free. It's time to find peace by the water.
I just want to invite you to lovingly respond to that. Maybe putting a hand on your heart, maybe holding yourself in a hug, and rocking or swaying, either swaying back and forth, side to side, or rocking front to back. I just want you to hold this part of you. Or you can choose to respond in a different way, whatever feels loving to you right now. Honor this part of you. Show love to it. Show compassion and empathy towards it. Your body works so hard for you. This part of you is trying to do something good for you. It has good intentions. It is not against you. It is for you. It's just a part of you in need. Offer some soothing to yourself. If it feels good, you can move into some havening, which is just gentle touch. You can start with your hands, or you can start with your face or your arm. Gently and lovingly bringing in some soothing touch and connection to your body. I want you to notice how that feels inside of your body as you do that. Just nurturing, lovingly responding. Yeah. Maybe just taking your hands and even holding your face. If that feels supportive, I'm just going to give you suggestions and ideas that you can try and see what feels supportive for you right now. Maybe a hand on your forehead, another hand behind your head, feeling held, feeling supported here. Taking a nice cleansing breath here in through your nose, holding it at the top, slowly allowing your breath to exhale through your mouth, like you're blowing on hot soup or tea. Maybe beginning to rub your heart, your chest with some gentle circles here. I'm going to move into some EFT tapping here. I want you to go ahead and start tapping on your eyebrow point and between your eyes. If you've never done this before, you can follow me in the video or just follow my verbal prompts. Tapping on your eyebrow points, just say thank you, body. Thank you, body, for loving me so much. For trying to keep me safe. Moving to your eyebrow point on the sides by your temple. I didn't mean the eyebrow point, I meant your temple point, the side of your eye point. Tapping here and just say, I'm here and I care. Under your eyes, you can do this EFT tapping with one hand on one side if two feels like too much, or you can do both. There's no right or wrong here. We're moving stuck energy in the body while we're processing a beautiful cognitive and somatic hybrid approach. Just say, I care about you. Under your nose, I want to love you more. I want to love you better. I'm open to learn. tapping on your chin point. Taking a nice cleansing breath in between each tapping point. Just continue to breathe. Don't hold your breath. We hold our breath so often. Just notice if you have been, and gently just adapt and shift. Yeah. Just say, I'm open. I'm open to possibility. Find your chest point. Taking a nice cleansing breath in here, and then we're going to stand up. I want you to stand. When my mic, oh, I saw yawning. That's good. That's a sign of physiological release happening. I love it. So I want you to stand. And I want you to feel grounded here in this space. I want your feet to feel firm on the floor. And I want you just to kind of rock your feet front and back, side to side. And I just want you to feel grounded here. Let your feet be your firm foundation. I want to invite you to just come into a little bit of fluid movement here. Maybe swaying side to side, something rhythmic. Our brains love rhythm. Activating both sides of the body. If it feels good, you can add in some spinal twists. If your hand comes back to the back of your back, you'll hit that kidney zone and activate and move some energy there. And I want to invite you to just kind of move into a little bit of dance with me. Move in whatever way feels good. So if you're sitting or if you're standing, maybe snapping your fingers, maybe moving one foot forward and then the other foot forward. Activating both sides of our brain. Bringing balance and coherence. Beautiful. And I want you just to go ahead and stand right here in a powerful position. I want you to embody for just one moment that empowered vision that I showed you next to the girl that's in the cage, the empowered state. So you can do maybe Wonder Woman stance, or you can do like she was in that picture with her muscles up, and just humor me here, okay? We're gonna let this inner child part of us come out and play for a moment. So stand strong, firm with your feet on the ground. Maybe in that Wonder Woman stance if that feels better for you. But I want your chest to be open, and I want your head to be upright. And I want a smile on your face. And even if you're having so many symptoms and sensations right now we're focusing and inviting energy in this other direction for just a moment. We're not bypassing anything that's happening. We are simply just allowing ourselves for this moment to invite in this beautiful, beautiful ventral vagal energy that is calm and confident and strong, courageous. We're just embodying it. We're showing and reminding our body of what it looks like and feels like for just a moment. And feel that in your body. Yeah. That part of you still exists, and it's still a part of you, even if you're struggling with anxiety and depression and chronic symptoms and sensations. Still a part of you, and we need to invite that part out more and more. That's why one of my classes every month is called Play and Possibility, opening our bodies up to embody that. You can go ahead and come back and sit for a second. Yeah, and just share in the chat what that felt like for you. Just want you to notice, what did that feel like for you? Maybe even note in the chat what your level of body activation is now. Has it started to go down at all? Just noticing on a scale of 1 to 10, what does it feel like in your body right now? Angela's at a 2. Went from an 8 to a 6 for Holly. So we're just starting and making incremental levels down, right? Yeah, more relaxed at a 6. I really felt the confident pose for the first time in years. Rosalind said, "Ooh, beautiful. I'm so glad for you. That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that." Yeah, and iPhone 2 said it went from an 8 to a 2 or a 3. Beautiful. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. So here's the thing I want to tell you is that nothing changes if nothing changes. Say that with me. Nothing changes if nothing changes. So simple, yet so profound. Ooh, Liz said, brought me to tears. So loving, wasn't it? Wasn't that experience so loving and nurturing? So nourishing. And she said, I barely let my inner child out, but it felt good. Yeah, good. So here's the invitation. I've just awakened you to this understanding, right? I've opened up your this conscious awareness for you today. If you don't have the skills, if you are stuck in survival mode, if you have a lot of those indicators and those markers on the survival side, it's just because you haven't learned the skills, friend. It's not because you suck. It's not because you're broken. It's not because you need fixed. It's not because you have a mental illness. Don't get me started on that one. I hate the labels. The labels keep us stuck in a cage even longer, oftentimes. Okay? There. Got on my little soapbox for a second there. This is just an invitation, ladies. Let's keep this really simple. To learn new skills. And then take brave, messy steps of action, because you know I'm all about dancing in the mess. That's what I'm all about here. That's the illustration. We're taking messy steps of action. We dance this way and we dance this way. And as we take steps of action, we have clarity of mind. Clarity only comes through steps of action. The way out is in, is through going in to yourself and being willing to create, the momentum to take a tiny step of action and build up your window of tolerance to be with distress. Okay, if you want your life to be different, you have to do something different. You have to create new neural pathways and new energy, and do that while you're helping just unburden these wounded parts. And what we did today was even just a slight touch of unburdening the wounded parts. We helped them to feel seen and heard, and we connected with them, and we created a safe space for them. We didn't judge them. We didn't criticize them. We allowed the emotion, whatever's here, we just naming it, allowing it to be here. Okay, this is where it starts. This is how it starts. Okay, so this is the invitation I want to invite you to. And I, want to tell you a little bit about what is starting May 1st. I'm opening up my group coaching program again. So this will be my second round of doing it. I have done it. I did it at the end of last year. And I'm tweaking it a little bit. So if any of you have done it, I'm doing it different. And one person loved it so much that she signed up already. She's like, I'm doing it again. I loved it so much. I want to go even deeper. I know I want to connect with my parts even deeper. And it's cheaper than one-to-one coaching. One-to-one coaching is always going to be deeper. I call my method of one-to-one coaching the emotional liberation method. I'm wanting to help you liberate yourself from that stuck cage that you're in. And I can really help you get down into the deep, dark roots safely. So it doesn't feel overwhelming. So it doesn't feel overpowering. So it doesn't feel scary. In group coaching is really taking bits and pieces of what I do in my one-to-one coaching and teaching the framework so that you can start to do it for yourself. I genuinely teach you how to connect with all of those parts, like that IFS parts work, as sharing about. And what we're doing is we're really taking you on this pathway from self-doubt and from emotional overwhelm and shame and insecurity. And we're moving into that conscious awareness state, and we're stepping into that that self-confidence part. We're inviting that wise self-leader to begin to lead the other parts with curiosity, with courage, with confidence, with, illuminating more peace and joy, more emotional stability and safety, respecting and honoring yourself, okay? Responding from wholeness. So, the great thing is, I'll just share Veronica's story first before I tell you. I wanted to share her words because her words, she was so articulate, and she was so sad that she's not going to be here tonight. She had a concert to go to, but I'm like, I'm still going to share your words if that's okay. And she said, this program completely transformed how I think, feel, and talk about and to myself. I learned that no parts of me are bad or negative. They are born out of a need to protect myself from triggers, trauma, people, or outside influences. I learned how to navigate these parts of myself by learning how to communicate with them, soothe them in times of distress, and learn more about myself from them to feel more whole and connected. This has been hugely impactful as I now love myself and treat myself as my own best friend with intention instead of neglecting myself, self-sabotaging, or just being on autopilot. This has also helped me better navigate stress and emotions because I have the knowledge and tools to recognize my state, take a pause, evaluate, and address using the methods I've learned. So just wanted to share that. I wanted to tell you that this is an 8-week coaching program. And I know that Veronica is going to watch this. So I'm just going to say, thanks, Veronica, for sharing your a little piece of your story with us too. But it's 8 weekly sessions. It's going to be at noon Eastern, starting May 1st on Thursdays. And I want you, if you're someone like, well, I can't take off work, I have to work or whatever. Like, I want you to view it maybe as counseling, as therapy. Like, choose to 8 weeks, to make this a standing appointment. And maybe if it's in your time zone, it can be during your lunch break or something. That's kind of a goal that I had for it. Hopefully it would help for some people. But they're all live on Zoom, kind of like this, 60, 75 minutes-ish, interactive group settings. And I'm limiting it to only 10 participants because I want it to be a small group, personalized attention. And so it's going to be education and guided practices too. So I'm actually going to do more, like we did some somatic experiences together with the music and everything. But we'll have some group discussion, we'll have some live coaching opportunities, and there will be weekly growth work for deeper integration, but it's optional. So you get to do whatever, parts of it that you can participate in. So if the growth work is too much for you, you can always come back and do it later. You have access to come back and watch replays and everything too. And you get to be with amazing women. We have a WhatsApp chat for just this group that gathers together. And it was so impactful for the last round, even more so than my membership WhatsApp chat. Honestly, people really shared about their journeys and had questions and were authentic with each other and felt like it was really, really beautiful. So just letting you know, it's significantly cheaper than my one-to-one coaching. It's $397 with the early bird pricing, which I'm doing for just a week. From today till next Thursday, we have 1 week of early bird pricing, and then it's going to bump up to $497. And there is a payment plan available if you don't want to do it in one lump sum. But I'm giving everybody a bonus 1-to-1 60-minute coaching call because I want you to experience the depth with me. And I believe it was very meaningful. There is an opportunity to add on more weekly discounted coaching sessions. You really get 35% off my one-to-one coaching price. If you pair them together, I had a few people, I think we had 3 people that did that last time, who did weekly coaching sessions along with, and they felt like it was really like a powerful duo for them. They felt like they went further faster. So that's just another thing, another option just to know. That's just an extra option that I'm adding on. So it's just this idea of illuminating your path to wholeness. Like, I want you to have skills. I want you to be able to take action steps to experience it and embody it, and come back home to honoring your body and all of these parts of you that are still inside of you and burdened. We're unburdening these parts. And I'm adding a 24-hour fast action bonus for you. So if you're not a part of the membership yet and you join, I'm going to give you 1 month free into my membership with classes to be able to experience all the goodness there, because it's just deepens the journey and the experience too. So letting you know that 24 hours from today, so today to tomorrow, and I'm just going to put in the link if you're interested at all at exploring the group coaching program. There's that. And if you're kind of unsure and you want to talk about it, or you want to know a little bit more about it, I want you to know that you can sign up for a free discovery call, or if you're kind of interested in the group coaching or even one-to-one coaching instead, if you want to go like deeper independently by yourself, without the group coaching, because some people don't like groups, and I get it. That's that whole protector part that wants to isolate and hide and doesn't feel safe in groups. And so if that's you, there's no shame in that. There is one-to-one coaching option available. But I'm going to put in a link in the chat right now too, for you to go ahead and just jump on a call with me. I created more spaces for tomorrow. So if you're kind of on the edge of like, I'm interested, I want to ask more questions, I want to know more about this, but you want to like be within that 24-hour window, I have a lot of options for tomorrow. I actually never do coaching calls on Fridays. Those are my creation days. And so I opened up the entire day. So I have lots of options for people to come in and either do a discovery call where you can ask me questions, or experience more of that somatic breakthrough one-to-one, just to taste it and see what it's like. Okay. So that is, just what I want to offer to you. And that is the end of my slides. So I want to just open it up. If you have any questions right now you want to ask, or if there's any comments about tonight in this experience together that you want to chat through, just the floor is open. Feel free to come off mute, ask a question, or just share about what this felt like for you tonight. Ah, you're welcome, Nish. Nish, thank you so much for being here. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Was this meaningful to you? Was this helpful? Feel free to come off mute. Peggy.
Yeah, my body kind of reacted to the somatic session here. I mean,
Yeah.
I've calmed, my body has calmed down now, but it was really activated from that session. I guess it's my body's way of saying it didn't like it, even though it felt fine to me. And I've done all those things that, well, I've done the feet up the wall kinds of things. I do yoga. I do other kinds of things. I'm not sure why it kind of overreacted.
Well, what point did you notice the overactivation? I'm just curious.
Well, when we were all finished, after I sat in the chair and put my hands on a spot in my body, which is a low back area right now. And I don't know if it was because it was uncomfortable, because I was sitting in a recliner to put my hands on my low back like that. But yeah, that's kind of where it became activated. My body became activated, yeah.
So when you started noticing, I'm just curious, if you don't mind me asking, when you started noticing those sensations in your back, how did you respond to that? Like, what did you do? Did you stop? Did you stop having your hands on your back? Did you move them?
No, I left them there.
Okay. So here is where we have an opportunity to start really leaning into listening to our body, that if something starts to feel uncomfortable or feels like too much, we have to start honoring those little nudges. It's amazing how much we dismiss and bypass little nudges of our body.
Uh-huh.
I had a client that I was working with one time, and I knew she needed to go get a Kleenex. And I said to her, hey, you can pause and grab a Kleenex. You don't have to stay in the discomfort of not having a Kleenex right now. And she was like, oh, okay. But she was trying to please me. She didn't want to bother me. She didn't want to create disruption, right? And it's like, how often do we hold our pee when we have to go to the bathroom? When our body's trying to prompt us, it needs to release urine. But we're like, no, what I'm doing is more important right now. And I don't want to create any problems for anybody else, like especially driving, like driving in the car. If you're on a road trip, I would tell my husband, I noticed this for a while where I was like, I had to go to the bathroom for a really long time. He's like, well, I didn't know. And I'm like, well, I felt bad because I had to go like just not too long ago. And he's like, and I'm like, and I know you don't like stopping. And so I just tried to hold it. And it's like, wait a second, like how often
do we do that?
do we do that? Or like, I said at the beginning, everything was an invitation, right? Like, and if it didn't feel good, you didn't need to do it, right? But yet it started to feel not good. And what do? We force, we push. We kind of almost bulldoze or bypass those little promptings. Yeah. And so I wonder if in that moment, when you put your hand there, like, and you were holding it there and you felt like you needed to keep doing it, how it might have been different for you, how your body might have responded differently if you're like, oh, that doesn't feel as good and nourishing to me right now. And then you shifted.
And it feels fine now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a good point. Thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you for being honest about that, because that's how we move through this stuff, right? Is through authenticity of like those little things.
Yeah.
Yeah. But beautiful awareness of just noticing too. And sometimes when we're bulldozing and bypassing a part of us that's saying, hey, I don't like this, and we just keep forcing ourselves to keep doing something that doesn't feel nourishing to our body, like our body will respond in bigger ways. It always does. So if we're suppressing emotions or if we're suppressing anything, that's what's going to happen. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
You're so welcome. Holly just asked a question in response to that, like, what if you don't know how to respond? Can you come off mute for a second? Can I ask you a question, Holly?
Yes.
What do you mean by that? If you don't know how to respond to what part of it? What do you mean?
Well, for example, as we were sitting here and Peggy was talking, I'm getting this like cramp pain up the back of my neck. So I was rubbing my neck. That's the only response I can think of, but it's not going away. I have a big event on this afternoon. That's why I probably didn't shift as much as I'd like to. But yeah, so I'm wondering now, well, maybe that's that coming up. You talked about earlier, emotions coming up and getting stuck in the body. So I thought maybe that's that, but I don't know how to respond other than to go rub.
Right. So I start with the little rub, like I do start there. Like I will start by putting my hand there. I will start by rubbing. I will do some myofascial releases. I will do, vagus nerve reset. Like I will use different somatic strategies right there to kind of open up the space of wherever my body is feeling something. but then it's the energy and the emotion underneath it that needs to be accessed. Because, like you said, like when you tried to connect earlier, was it with that part of your body?
It wasn't there before. It just came up as Peggy was talking. So I thought, oh,
Oh, okay.
that's new.
So it might be a different part. Okay.
Oh,
So
it might be it. Okay.
yeah. So the interesting thing with parts work too is that as we connect to the sensations in our body, we might feel something in one area of our body and then it shifts and moves to another area of our body. And then we have the opportunity to connect with it and see if it's still the same part or if it's a different part. And sometimes it's a different part that comes up. So other parts can be triggered. And so that's why we feel that tug of war inside, because we feel something, something else comes up, and then something else comes up. And then here we have this whole ball of yarn that's just like wrapped up and entangled, and all these different parts of us showing up. And we're like, I don't know what to do with it all. Like, and what do? We shut down, we numb out, we go into that fight, flight, freeze response, right? Yeah. Yeah. So I want you to see it as an opportunity to lean into your body and just start noticing what the sensations really feel like and go through that little process again, with like tracking the sensation and leaning in to ask that part of your body, like, what are you holding here? What's going on? What do you want me to see? What do you want me to know? We just start becoming curious and asking more and more questions, to try and understand what's coming up.
All right. So what are you holding and what do you want me to know?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah. What do you need from me?
It does seem to be getting worse.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, great question though.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be with it for a while.
Yeah. Well, and you've learned, because you've been, done some of my classes. I would encourage you to do some vagus nerve reset, specifically the one that goes like this with your eyes up. Do you remember that from classes
Okay,
and
yeah.
stuff? And you can do that even now, like as other people are talking, just sit there and start doing some, because it will open up the neck. Do you also remember the clavicle release that I've taught?
No, when you said the myofascial releases, I thought, oh, what are those?
Yeah, that would be another good one to do too. But yeah,
Okay.
but at
Another
least
time.
vagus nerve. Yeah.
Okay, that's good. Someone else can ask, I'll do my vagus nerve. I remember that one.
Yeah, good. Anybody else have a question?
Thanks, Jill.
You're so welcome. Or a comment, question or a comment of any kind. Okay, ladies. Well, you're the last one standing with me. Thank you for being here. And for anybody watching the replay, I hope this was supportive for you too. But what a beautiful journey. Went a little longer. I always tend to do that with these workshop experiences too. But gosh, I hope it was meaningful and helpful and supportive and in your journey. Peggy, did you have another question?
Will you send out the replay via
Yes.
email? Is that how it's going to work?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
You're so welcome. Yes, I will send out the replay on email. And yeah, if you have any other questions or if you want to sign up for a call with me, feel free to. Happy to support in any way that I can.
Okay,
Yeah.
thank you.
Well, thanks, ladies. Sending you all so much love. Here from Indianapolis.
Thanks,
Big
Jill.
hugs. You're so welcome.
It's already shifting. Yay.
It's already shifting? Good.
Yeah.
I love it. I love that for you.
Thank you.
Feel free to do it a few more times too.
Yeah, I will. I'll do that. Awesome. Thank you.
You're welcome. Bye-bye.